Hello, I'm Trainer James, and today we will be playing Selesnya Werewolves. Now, why Selesnya instead of Naya? I've seen that this Naya list of werewolves floating around, and it does look really cool. It does have, Howlpack Piper. It has 4 copies of Avabruck, 4 copies of Tovolar's Huntmaster, and everything. And it plays white for the Brytal Cather, because Brytal Cather is a really good werewolf. But I've been wanting to try werewolf decks that don't feature Tovolar or Kessig Naturalist, mainly Tovolar, but yeah, like I just want to see if werewolf decks work without Tovolar, which is why I created the Mono-Green Werewolf deck that a couple weeks ago, and it performed really well on the ladder. It got us to Mythic, but yeah, I want to give other werewolf decks a try that don't feature Tovolar, because Tovolar is a really good werewolf, but I think that this Selesnya build can also be really good. So we have 4 Valorous Stance, because sometimes your opponent just has removal and we want to be able to protect our things, but it can also deal with creatures with 4 toughness. Like a Valorous Stance can get rid of a Goldspan Dragon, And we also have 4 Luminarch Aspirant, because putting counters on our creatures works out really well. Werewolf Packleader wants 6 power of damage to attack in order to get us a card, while Luminarch Aspirant works with that. So if we go Werewolf Packleader turn 2 into turn 3 Luminarch Aspirant, then you can put a counter on the Packleader, make it a 4/4, and then next turn after that, our turn 4, you can play a Howlpack Piper, you could play a Cemetery Prowler, Brytal Cather, you could put a counter on Luminarch Aspirant, or a second counter on the Packleader, attack with 6 power total, and get ourselves to draw a card and everything. But yeah, altogether, I think this deck is going to be fun. I don't know how viable it's going to be, but I foresee it being fun. Because when you're able to go Howlpack Piper into Avabruck Caretaker, that's just so much fun, Howlpack Piper is such a fun card. And honestly, Howlpack Piper I don't even really like with Tovolar, because Tovolar flips all of our human werewolves into just werewolves. And Howlpack Piper, I find, works best on its human side, because you want to be able to pay 2 mana, put a werewolf onto the battlefield, pay 2 more mana, put another werewolf onto the battlefield, then have it flip knight. So if you have Tovolar on the battlefield with a Howlpack Piper and another wolf or werewolf, it just automatically becomes knight. You don't get to use Howlpack Piper's ability, because you can only activate it as a sorcery. So you can't activate it before it becomes knight, right? So yeah, I foresee some fun things going on with this deck. So let's go ahead and get out onto the arena, and I will see you on the battlefield. We go first. 2 Howlpack Piper and 2 Blizzard Brawl. So we'll mulligan that. Brytal Cather, Packleader. We'll keep that. We'll get rid of one of them. But you turn 2, you turn 3. Let's see. Depending on what our opponent plays, anyways. Well, either way, we'll probably play the Cather turn 3. Or we'll play the Aspirant. White. Selesnya. Intrepid Adversary. Nice. Let's do this. Attack. See if they want to block. They don't. Brytal Cather? Maybe? Skyclave Apparition? Brytal Cather. Okay. Well, let's play our own Brytal Cather. Get that. Let's put the counter here. No attacks. Sigarda. No blocks. Then we can play this on green. Attack. Pass a turn. Now it's night. Torrens. Okay. Well, they can't attack profitably into Mood Render Brute. Well, I mean, Sigarda can, but... yeah, let's go ahead and do that. They just give up. Kill Sigarda and they just give up. Packleader Prowler with mana to make Blizzard Brawl active. Okay. Hi. This thing looks like a... I don't know, like a cat version of Pikachu. Like, obviously it's fire and not electricity, so Pikachu doesn't really make sense. I guess it could be like a Litten, if you guys are, you know, savvy when it comes to Pokemon, that is. As you can see in my background, I am a Pokemon fan. I bought the new, well, I didn't buy it, but my girlfriend bought the new Diamond and Pearl remakes for the Switch. And they are fun. I haven't played a whole lot of Diamond yet, but they are fun. So our opponent's thinking what to do. So they could come down. Okay, so if they don't block here, their turn 2 play, if it's a Sun Gold Sentinel, then there's nothing to exile. Thus, this doesn't get big anyways. But they decided to block, which is fine. Could have a Luminarch Aspirant on this turn. Next turn, we play the Prowler. Unless we get a white mana source. And we might play Luminarch Aspirant, depending on what they play. Then we might just Blizzard Brawl it. But our opponent so far thinks we're playing mono-green. And we basically are, with the exception of some Valorous Stance, Luminarch Aspirant, and a Brytal Cather. But that does make the deck Selesnya, so... Selesnya Werewolves! Woo! I've really been trying to do different builds on werewolves. Like, decks that don't necessarily feature Tovolar. Let's take their Stonebinder. They could have Brytal Cather here now. We really need a white mana source. We can get Brytal Cather down. Blizzard Brawl. Though our opponent right now can't attack into Cemetery Prowler. Elite Spellbinder, okay. They'll probably take one of the Blizzard Brawls. We don't have white mana for either one of these. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But, I mean, we can Blizzard Brawl now. Or do we play Packleader? Well, if they put both of these in front, we kill both anyways. So... oh, man. Okay. Let's do this. Attack. Make our Blizzard Brawl cost 1 less. Could have a Brytal Cather here. Yeah, I don't know why they blocked. They said oops. Maybe Adeline? Skyclave Apparition, okay. Sure. Well, here is our land. Do they have a Brytal Cather? It doesn't matter. We can always get it back. Make ourselves a 3/3 token. So if they Brytal Cather this, Clarion Spirit. And a Redain. Well. Do you want to trade for this? You do. Okay. Do it! No, come on. Brytal Cather. Let's take the Clarion Spirit. Oh yeah! Ooh. We go first. 1, 2, 4, and this can drop that for 2. Alright, we'll keep it. Plus the Piper will give the Ascendant Packleader it'll give it a counter. No 1-drop from the white deck. Okay. Well, in that case, play the Liberator, get the day-night cycle started. Thalia, that's fine. That's real fine. Put it here. Attack. Elite Spellbinder. Or Brytal Cather. Which one? I guess it could be Skyclave Apparition. Redain. Okay. Fine. Fine. Sure. Go ahead. Attack. Do it. No blocks. Oh, yeah, that's right. You make snow mana come into play tapped. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to attack with the Aspirant. My bad. Yes. Don't do it. Don't do it. We definitely have a combat trick. Mono white. We have a combat trick. Woo! I didn't mean to do that, but it happened, so. Now we have a 4/4 here. Got him down to 8 life. Intrepid Adversary. That's annoying, but we can get through it. Sure. Piper. Brytal Cather. Here. They have to block with something. They could block with this and then make their team small again. Okay. They go back up to 8. Could have a Brytal Cather. Though if they do, well, I guess they would have to play 2 spells in order to flip today. So I guess a Brytal Cather doesn't really do much for them. Of course, not flipping it back today means the Piper here can't tap and allow us to play Werewolves. So we kind of want them to play 2 spells, but at the same time, if they don't, that's fine. Okay. Stonebinder. Sure. Are you going to it? Okay, yes. They played 2 spells. Fantastic. Well, in that case, let's do this. Take that. Do this. Take this. And then we can Blizzard Brawl something. What do we Blizzard Brawl though? Does it? Let's Blizzard Brawl you. Let's see. Put some counters here. Put this counter here. Attack with both of them. Yeah, this is indestructible. Like, they could have blocked, like, triple blocked this to kill it. Well, I guess it doesn't really do much for them. Okay. Another Aspirant. Okay. Avabruck. Should we play the Luminarch Aspirant? Okay, let's see. So, if we put... We don't really want to attack with this, because they will block it and get their Thalia back. Though I guess that's not the end of the world, if they do that. So... two counters here. Put another counter here. And put another counter here. Okay. They're not going to want to attack with their flyer because they're using that to get in. But we're going to make it flip the knight. Okay, they go up to 3. Pass the turn. Give us a Howlpack Piper. And all of our spells have hexproof now, so they can't target any of our stuff. Even this isn't enough for them. Okay. Selesnya Werewolves. Trouncing mono white. Yes. Well, We have plenty of stuff to do, and we do go first. So we play this turn 1, turn 2, and then start playing a bunch of 2-drops. Sure, we have Ascendant Packleader, which we would like to get down before Howlpack Piper, but as long as Howlpack Piper is on the battlefield, if we play this, it still gets a counter. So Arctic Treeline will play first. Next turn, we will go Packleader. See what our opponent does. Might have Shambling Ghast, Rakdos, Vampire Socialite. Okay, that also works. Let's play you. Let's do that. Attack. Opponent doesn't want to block. Ascendant Packleader. So the reason I put the counter on the Aspirant is because if we double block the Socialite, then they can kill one of them. They'll probably kill the Aspirant. They can't kill both. And besides, we have another Luminarch Aspirant anyways. Okay. Play the Piper. Draw ourselves a card. Ooh, yes! Okay. That's good. That's a good draw. They can double block the Packleader to get rid of it. Or not. Callous Blood Mage. Okay. Totally fine. So what we're going to do, play you. The counter's here. Attack. Keep this up because they might try to play like a removal spell, or they might try to play well, I guess it doesn't really matter. All of our creatures now have hexproof. And they're not playing Snowlands. They're not playing Blood on the Snow. So, those are the matches. Overall, we played 7 games across 58 minutes. We had a 57% win rate, 86% on the play, and 0% on the draw. So, did terrible on the draw. But as you can see from here, the deck does terrible against black decks. Like basically, with all the removal, with mass removal like Meathook Massacre and Blood on the Snow, the deck just doesn't go well with it. We don't like Avabruck Caretaker when it becomes Hollowhenge. What is it? Hollowhenge Caretaker, I think. Hollowhenge Howler, maybe. But anyways, whenever it flips, it gives all of our permanents hexproof, but hexproof doesn't do anything for mass removal like Blood on the Snow and Meathook Massacre. So yeah, the deck falls pretty hard to black decks. And honestly, black decks are suited for creature decks. So when the meta is very is-it heavy with is-it control, it's no wonder that black decks seem to crumble to those decks because they don't play well with them. Like Blood on the Snow against a deck that plays very few creatures isn't going to do much, So yeah, we suffered greatly against black decks, but as you can see, we went 2-0 against white decks. So if you're just looking for a deck that performs well against mono white, then Selesnya Werewolves is fun. And for a werewolf deck that's not playing, Tovolar and Kessig Naturalist and the Reckless Stormseeker. I think that this Selesnya deck is pretty fun. So one thing I noticed about this deck is that we need things that can get through with trample, and none of, well, okay, Werewolf Pathway, you can give it trample, but on its own, none of our creatures have trample. So having, a big, 6/6 that's an 8/8 because it puts 2+1/+1 counters on itself doesn't really do us much if they're going to block with a 1/1 and we can't get through anyways. So I think this deck would benefit from having a couple of Hound Tamer in it, right? Yeah. So this werewolf right here has trample, and then once it flips, other wolves and werewolves we control have trample. So being able to give all of our creatures minus the Luminarch Aspirant trample, I think would benefit the deck a lot. And it might even make it easier to play against black decks, because black decks have to build up to their blood on the snow. And granted, it's easy for them because they have Shambling Ghast and the Deadly Dispute, and they create a bunch of treasure doing that. But a lot of their creatures, Shambling Ghast, Eye Twitch, the spiders that Loth makes, they all have 1 toughness. So if our wolves and werewolves had trample, we could potentially kill them faster than they could blood on the snow and try to reclaim the board state. So yeah, I would definitely look into adding Hound Tamer to the deck. I like it. Valorous Stance is good, but maybe we just go down to 2 Valorous Stance. You can put the other 2 in the sideboard if you want to play best of 3. But altogether, I do enjoy this deck. I think it's a good deck. It's a fun deck, and like I said, if you want to go up against, or if you find yourself going up against a lot of mono white, you just want to beat mono white, well, this deck did perform well against mono white. So yeah, with that, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next game.